THQ apologizes for hosting an AMA on 8chan.
Poor decision.
This was, yeah. So, this is coming from IGN. THQ Nordic, publisher of the Darksiders series, one of my favorite franchises, apologizes for hosting an Ask Me Anything on 8chan, a site blacklisted by Google for, quote, suspected child abuse content. The official THQ Nordic Twitter account revealed that on February 26th, they would be doing an AMA on 8chan, adding, quote, we have no idea why. From THQ Nordic, this was the tweet that it said, quote, the opportunity was here and we took it. We got approached in a very friendly and polite manner and were assured said person, shout out to Mark, will take care of the nasty stuff. So here we are. But that tweet has since been deleted. PR and marketing director Philip Brock then officially apologized on Twitter. Quote, I personally agreed to this AMA without doing my proper due diligence to understand the history and controversy of this site. I'm terribly sorry for the short-sightedness of my decision. This was not about being edgy. This blew up, and I very much regret to have done it in the first place. End quote.
I mean, yeah, I had heard about that, and it's I mean, he pretty much, there's really not even much to say. Because really, like, he already realized that it was a mistake, because it's essentially just like, it's like an even more depraved version of 4chan, essentially.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it was, like I said, he doesn't even give a reason for doing it. Like, they don't know, like, I mean, and he says it's not to be edgy, and that may have been the case, but it's like, there's got to be some alternative reason other than just doing an AMA in general that you chose that as the platform to do it on. Mm-hmm. And
do you think they honestly didn't know? Do you honestly think that they didn't know?
That, I think it's possible. It's very because I bet that barely. I bet no. I mean, it's not like 8chan is like, you know, hugely popular in mainstream culture. Or anything.
I mean, mind you,
they may just have not known anything about it. But it's like, I want to know if someone must have found it and been able to like put two and two together by either surfing it or and no one looked at anything like if they didn't research it all. They just said, "Oh, that looks good." But it's like, again, why would you choose to put out an AMA on a platform that barely anybody knows about as far as like mainstream gaming culture in the first place, in addition to the fact that there's so many negatives associated with it. Mm-hmm. Whether or not that was known at the time is kind of irrelevant, because it's like, well, how many people do you feel you were going to reach? Why don't you just go onto Reddit like everyone else? Like, that's a stab. Like, that's where AMAs started. Like, Reddit is where people go. Like, anyone. Like, if they do an AMA, like, they'll go to Reddit in almost all cases because it's just a bigger, more known platform.
Yeah, I think it was just one of those things where, like, they even said that they were asked. So it's not like they chose. Like, they went out, like, THQ.
Oh, they were asked by you?
Yeah, they were asked.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, it's...
Okay, well, that explains why.
Yeah, it says, we have no idea why. From THQ Nordic. This is from the tweet that was deleted before. This is the tweet. It says, the opportunity was here, and we took it. We got approached in a very friendly and polite manner, and we were assured that said person, shout out to Mark, will take care of the nasty stuff. So here we are. So they were approached by, I guess, Mark from here, and that's why they did it. They were approached to do it on there. But then,
well, in that case, then I suppose, yeah, then maybe like they may have not known, because in like the way that they were, because I don't know the motives of whoever approached them, if they were, you know, good intentions that, you know, just were inevitably going to be ruined because of the platform they were on, or if it was a part of the plan to start with, like as just a big troll, which also would definitely be a possibility.
Yeah.
And I suppose it's just like, yeah, like he said, they should have done research before just agreeing to this random, you know, like despite how polite it may or may not have been, you should still do your research.
Yeah.
If it's going to be, you know, something as important as talking directly to your fan base.
Yeah.
Because that's about as important as it gets.
Oh, yeah. I mean, mind you, I don't know about 8chan. I've heard,
I personally haven't used it, but I used to go on 4chan all the time, and it's essentially a similar type of site. It's just a forum, but it's like, again, yeah, they just got a bunch of, like, you know, really screwed up stuff on there, and it's just, it's a very whether or not it would be intentional, it's a very toxic portion of the internet.
Yeah.
And that's just not where you want to have an AMA.
Yeah, no, I definitely...
At least not if you're a big company like that.
No, yeah. I mean, for me, I've never been to... I've been to 4chan. I know about 4chan. I've heard about it, but I've never, like, gone there.
It's basically where memes were birthed.
Oh, really?
That's
okay,
essentially where all that kind of thing, like the modern incarnation, like basic picture-based memes and those kinds of that kind of like internet culture as well. I mean, there's different parts of it, like, you know, it's more than the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah, it kind of developed out of 4chan, which is also based off of something called 2chan, which is the Japanese forum site, which was kind of like the original, and then 4chan was created by Christopher Moot. When, you know, and to basically be the same thing, and then it kind of evolved from there.
Yeah.
And so I assume I had never heard of 8chan till now, but that's just another incarnation. Just all it is a very simple, like, you know, anonymous forum posting website.
From what I kind of looked into this a little bit more, but from what I've heard, or like the reason why 8chan existed is because 4chan started to be heavily monitored by like the admin, so 8chan became more like, you know, you would have that, like, you know, those horrible people on 4chan, and then it started to become heavily monitored.
There was always like an old joke that like there was a cancer in 4chan at a certain point, and it was just like ruining it. So like basically, that's
it became heavily monitored.
I haven't been on it in many years, so I mean I've seen it recently. Like, you know, and it's essentially still the same look and setup, but yeah, I mean, it's you know, it depends on where you go.
Yeah, and I think that's what 8chan became. It's
like the tumor that fell off of 4chan and just started to grow into its own creature.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that was... THQ Nordic.
It was just poor judgment.
It was poor judgment. They should have looked into it. They should have done more. They should have looked into it. But it doesn't change my. I love THQ Nordic. I'm still very big fan.
It's not like they're bad guys. Because
No,
they basically didn't. You know, I mean, they were like, you know, like reckless and foolish to not research further into where they're going to try to represent themselves to their fans. But they're not like bad people because they ended up being on a site that's full of bad people.
And they even said, like, right away, they're like, oh, we messed up. We apologize for that. So on and so forth. And we're going to do...
Yeah, they're owning their mistake. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be mad about it.
Yeah, of course. So, yeah. So... Good on them. Again, I look forward to more THQ Nordic content. And I look forward to the next Darksiders. All right, let's move on.